Bandit subjugation. I couldn't believe Alan's words. Someone I know? Out here? Could it be the Royal Guard? It must be. Alan has never been wrong before. I hurriedly began to wave at the approaching horses and riders. Noticing me waving, they brought their horses to a halt. They seemed wary. I suppose I might look suspicious. They waited for the rest of their group before slowly approaching. When they were less than 50 meters away, they suddenly spurred their horses and charged toward us at incredible speed. That's Dulcim. Your Highness, is that truly you, Your Highness? What are you doing in a place like this? Dulcim leaped from his horse and knelt before me. It's been a while, Dulcim. It's strange how I naturally slip into this tone when I'm in front of the Royal Guard. Oh, Your Highness, it has been too long. The group Dulcim was leading arrived in the clearing as well. It's the princess. Ooh, princess. Princess. Ah, it's everyone from the Royal Guard, but it looks like there are some unfamiliar faces mixed in. It's been a while, everyone. I'm glad to see you all looking well. Your Highness, why are you in a place like this? Surely you didn't come to meet us. I glanced at Alan. He must have known the Royal Guard would be passing through here. He could have told me. No, not exactly. I'm in the middle of a quest as an adventurer. Oh, what a coincidence. This is truly a stroke of luck. To be honest, I was worried about whether we'd be able to find you right after arriving in Guns. He had a point. I should have come up with some sort of plan. You're right. I thought it would be a while before you all arrived, so I hadn't made any plans either. We almost missed each other. Send a rider to the rear guard. Tell them to hurry and assemble. Dulcim shouted to an unfamiliar man near the horses. The man nimbly mounted a horse and galloped down the road. So there was a rear guard. There's a rear guard? I did think your numbers seemed a bit small. Yes, we decided it would be too conspicuous to travel in one large group. Dulcim grinned. I wonder what he's planning. Sir Alan, it's been some time, and to everyone else as well. It's good to see you, Captain Dulcim. Selena, Sharon, and Elna greeted him in turn. Just then, more groups began to arrive one after another. It looked like they had all ridden at full speed. Your Highness, Lady Claria. I returned the greetings of everyone calling out to me. My heart swelled seeing how they still adored me, even though I was no longer royalty. One by one, they knelt before me. The last group arrived and did the same. Something was off. There were clearly more than 58 people here. A hush fell over the crowd. Dulcim, what's with these numbers? 42 of the finest elite soldiers from the Margrave's army have joined us. Each of them is as skilled as any of us in the Royal Guard. We are 100 strong in total. So that's it. No wonder there were faces I didn't recognize. But from my uncle's army, my gaze fell upon a man standing next to Dulcim. You're from my uncle's army, if I recall. Walter, was it? I asked the familiar-looking man beside Dulcim. To think the princess would remember my name, I feel like I could ascend to the heavens. Indeed, I have had the honor of being in your presence twice before. I am in charge of the Margrave's man here. I see. Walter, I'm counting on you. Ah, to think so many people would come all this way for me. Everyone, thank you for undertaking this long journey. Nothing could make me happier than to see you all. You honor us with your words, Your Highness. I'm sure you've all heard, but we are currently aiming for the top as adventurers. From this day forward, I ask that you lend me your strength. As you command. Yes, Your Highness. Your Highness, you mentioned you were in the middle of a quest. What kind of quest might that be? Subjugating bandits. A murmur went through the crowd. What? You were planning to undertake such a dangerous quest with just 5 of you? It's not a problem. The 5 of us are more than enough. Ah, meeting you here was truly a stroke of luck. For such a quest, there is no need to trouble Your Highness. Allow us to slay those bandits for you. Claria, we don't have to decide everything right here, do we? There's a good place to camp just up ahead. Why don't we move there and talk? I had completely forgotten to introduce Alan to everyone. Everyone, my apologies for the late introduction. This is Alan, the leader of my party, Shining Star. I'm Alan, leader of Shining Star. I believe you'll all be joining us as members of the clan we're about to create. It's a pleasure to meet you. Sir, it is an honor, Sir Alan. Good, it seemed they had already heard about Alan. Then, as Alan suggests, let's move to the campsite. I'm sorry to make you all backtrack, but please prepare to move out. Sir, once everyone was ready, we proceeded down the road with our carriage in the lead. After about 3 hours, we arrived at the campsite Alan had mentioned. It was a wide riverbed that the carriage could descend into, spacious enough for over 100 people to camp without issue. Set up camp, post sentries. Dalcham, there's no need for sentries. Everyone froze. Your Highness, why is that? Alan and Selena and Sharon over there are users of detection magic. No monster can escape the notice of the 3 of them. Detection magic? Such a spell exists? Claria. Alan gave me a hand signal indicating he'd found monsters. 3 greyhounds, their distance, their direction. We'd recently improved the signals to include the type of monster. I'll show you proof. In that direction, 3 greyhounds. They'll be here in about 30 seconds. Everyone turned to look where I was pointing. Just as they watched, a little over 30 seconds later, 3 greyhounds appeared. They were about 60 meters away. Ooh! Even the greyhounds, seeing our numbers, stopped in their tracks to observe us. I'll take care of them. I unleashed the 3 flame arrows I had prepared. I'd increased their speed, mimicking Alan. The 3 flaming arrows flew through the air, chasing down the greyhounds as they tried to dodge and pierced their bodies. Ooh! Amazing! A splendid display, Your Highness. Could someone retrieve the magic stones? I will. Several men ran off. I am truly impressed, Sir Alan, Your Highness. Alan and the others are always on alert. There's no need for sentries. More importantly, I want to talk with all of you. Let's talk at length once the camp is set up. Understood. Set up camp. Hurry. Everyone began to move about busily. I helped unhitch Tars and Scylla from the carriage. Sharon, Selena, sorry to ask, but could you hunt something for dinner? The river here is all shallows. Doesn't look like there are any fish, said Alan. Roger that. Understood. Alan, I'll go hunting too. It's all right, Claria. Everyone wants to talk to you. Just take it easy today. I decided to take him up on his offer for today. Sharon and Selena slung their rifles over their backs, mounted Tars and Scylla, and went off to hunt. Your Highness, is this wise? Sending 2 frail young women out to hunt alone? Sharon and Selena are anything but frail. In terms of martial arts, they're probably stronger than anyone here. After all, they're even stronger than Alan in hand-to-hand combat. Stronger than Sir Alan? I can't believe it. You should ask them to train with you sometime. Alan began to create latrines with earth magic. A crowd immediately formed around him. Your Highness, what is this? He's making a latrine. It's quite impressive, isn't it? Impressive? I've seen people make earthworks and simple walls, but I've never seen anything this elaborate. In about 20 minutes, Alan had made 3 stalls for men and 1 for women. He was explaining to everyone how to use them. It seemed he wasn't going to build a cabin today, probably because while he could make one for us, he couldn't make them for everyone. That was just like Alan. Alan took out a large iron plate with handles from the carriage. It was over 1 meter long and about 80 centimeters wide, something I'd never seen before. Alan, what's that? I had the master at the blacksmith's forge make it for me. We're going to grill meat on it. Alan started giving instructions to the idle men to build a stove for the iron plate and to gather firewood. There were plenty of logs lying around the riverbed, so it wouldn't be difficult. A short while later, Selena and Sharon returned. Tars and Scylla were each dragging a big boar that must have weighed at least 50 kilograms, tied with ropes, while Selena and Sharon each held a blackbird in their hands. The 2 of them really were something else.
Amazing to get such a haul in such a short time. Hey, take the game from them and start butchering it immediately. Right. More than 20 men who were free swarmed the animals, and they were butchered in the blink of an eye. Alan was giving instructions on how to cut the meat. The fire in the stove was lit, and preparations for grilling the meat were complete. Everyone was staring at the stove. They probably hadn't eaten well on their journey. I'd put them through a lot of hardship. Claria, it's a bit early, but let's have dinner. Everyone, I know there's much to discuss, but first, let's eat. Sir. 2 men, appointed by Alan as grill masters, began cooking the meat with iron spatulas. The seasoning seemed to be a simple salt and pepper. The heat must have been intense, as the meat cooked in no time. I see, that iron plate was perfect for grilling a large amount of meat. The cooked meat was placed on a large platter, and as soon as it was set down, everyone started taking some for their own plates.
Your Highness, please have some. Dowson brought some grilled meat to Elna and me, who were sitting in folding chairs. It was thinly sliced big boar and blackbird meat. The simple seasoning was delicious. It was even tastier than our usual meals. No, it was probably the atmosphere of being surrounded by everyone that made it so. You have some too, Dowson. The meat is delicious. Yes, well then, if you'll excuse me. Dowson joined the fray for the meat. After about an hour, everyone seemed satisfied. As it grew dark, magic light tools were set out and bonfires were lit in several places. Everyone sat on the ground, forming a circle around me. First, I want to report, what is the status of our comrades who scattered across the land? Sir, for the most part, there are no problems. We have received no reports of anyone dropping out, so I believe things are proceeding smoothly. The one who answered was Walter, the leader of the Margrave's men. I see. But what I've been concerned about are their families. Many households must have lost their primary breadwinner. How are they faring? Lord Roberto distributed as much of the funds you sent as possible, Your Highness. Speak plainly. Is it enough or not? It is not sufficient. Just as I thought. Well, that just means we have to work harder from now on. We are already in a position to send at least 1 million jenny. As soon as we return to Gantz, we'll send it immediately. Alan, are there any problems with that? None. Your Highness, are you saying you've earned a fortune of 1 million jenny in such a short time? It was mostly Alan who earned it. No, that's not right. It's what we earned as a party. You're right. Any other reports? It seems that taxes have risen within the Starvate Kingdom, and the people's discontent is growing. Ah, I've heard that as well. It seems we have another reason to reclaim our country as soon as possible. Anything else? Nothing in particular, I believe. Then I'll report on what we've been doing in Gantz. That said, we haven't been very active as adventurers since arriving. We've been securing a home for the clan, making preparations, and training in magic. Your Highness, a clan home? You mean a base of operations? Thank you for doing this for us. And how many people can live in this home? If we use all the rooms, I believe it can accommodate 120 people. Thinking about it now, it feels like Alan had anticipated that 100 people would be living there. Am I overthinking it? So, all of us can live in that home? That's the plan. That's wonderful. I thought we would have to live scattered among cheap inns, but such a large facility, doesn't it cost a fortune to rent? Alan negotiated with the guildmaster of the Merchants Guild and was able to rent it for a bargain. As expected of Sir Alan. That's not all. Alan also secured the support of the Merchants Guild and a continuous stream of nominated quests. This bandit subjugation is the first of those nominated quests. Ooh, but to take on a bandit subjugation with just 5 party members, I still think that's reckless, don't you? I understand why you think so, but about 30 bandits aren't a major problem for our party. 30? Did you say 30? A stir went through the crowd. This is information Alan gathered beforehand. We plan to subjugate 30 bandits tomorrow. Ah, Claria, my apologies. It's actually 35. I see. Then it's 35. The murmuring among the men grew louder. Lord Norian, what do you think? Dowson seemed to have turned his attention to Elna. I understand what Dowson is saying.
Normally, it would be completely reckless. But for our party, Shining Star, and with Alan here, we can manage. I also believe it won't be a problem, provided Alan is with us, that is. I agree. If we assume Alan isn't here, then this quest might be a bit reckless. Claria, they can see for themselves tomorrow whether it's reckless or not. We'll have them help out and show them how we fight. Of course, we will assist. In fact, we'd prefer if you'd leave it entirely to us. No, this is a quest for Shining Star. I can't do that. Claria, Captain Dalsum, let's form a plan tomorrow morning. Understood, Sir Alan. After that, I told everyone about how we attacked the orc settlement and defeated the general orc, how we hunted the big blue serpent, and how we were promoted to B rank, and the atmosphere became very lively. By the way, Your Highness, I've been curious for a while, but what are those things you are all wearing on your left shoulders? This is the insignia of Shining Star. It's a design of a shining star. It's quite nice, isn't it? Yes, it's a wonderful piece of work. If possible, we would like to make the same ones for ourselves. Would you permit it? Of course. Let's make this the clan's insignia.
Alan excused himself and headed toward the carriage. Could it be that he made extra insignias? But even if he made extra, there's no way he'd have enough for everyone. He soon returned carrying a burlap sack. Captain Dalsum, I had extra insignias made. Could you distribute these to everyone? Ooh, that's wonderful. By the way, how many are in this bag? There should be enough for everyone. If there are any left over, please return them. Understood. Hey, form 3 lines. Instantly, a line formed in front of Dalsum and he handed them out one by one. Everyone looked very happy. Some were even poking holes in their clothes to attach them to their left shoulders. Alan, why did you have 100 insignias made? It would be a problem if the clan's membership grew, wouldn't it? I'm a capable man with foresight. Suspicious. I'm starting to think Alan really knew this many people would be joining us. I can understand making extra, but there was absolutely no need to bring them today. We decided to wake up at dawn tomorrow and turned in early. Dalsum was about to post sentries, so I stopped him. Alan and the others' detection magic is effective even while they're sleeping. They'll wake up if a monster gets close, so there's no need for sentries. That's impossible. No, I understand. We'll do as you say. Even so, Dalsum instructed everyone to sleep in a circle around us. I suppose it's only natural that he finds it hard to believe. The next morning, after finishing a breakfast of last night's leftovers, we immediately gathered the captains for a strategy meeting. Not that it mattered, as everyone else was crowded around us anyway. Alan took out a map smaller than the one I saw at the home and spread it on the table. First, take a look at this map. According to the information I've gathered, the bandits often set traps at this point. There are usually 27 or 28 of them actually setting the trap. The remaining 7 or 8 are usually guarding the hideout here. If you know no location, then if you would just leave it to us. No, the bandits have lookouts. If we approach with a large force, they'll just hide. Of course, since we know the location, we could surround them with a large force and close in, and we would certainly win. But then we might as well be bandits ourselves. It's much quicker in many ways if we let them attack us once. But, Dalsum, the leader of this clan is Alan. Sir, my apologies, Sir Alan. We'll use our carriage. If we unload the luggage and pack people in instead, we should be able to fit at least 14. It's preferable that those riding in the carriage are skilled with bows or magic and have high defense. How many magic users are there? There are 75. May I be entrusted with the selection of personnel? I'll leave it to you. In addition to the carriage, create 2 squads of 20 men each. For these, it's preferable to have men who can use bows or magic, are used to walking in the mountains, and don't make much noise. Understood. The plan is simple. The 2 squads you create will take a wide detour around the ambush site and position themselves behind the bandits. Once the detour squads are in position, we'll move the carriage forward. When the bandits' attack begins, I'll give a signal, and the detour squads will commence their attack. That's it. How will you give the signal? Alan pointed up at the sky. Everyone looked up.
A fireball shot out from beside Alan, flew about 30 meters, and burst with a loud bang. Ooh, we'll use that as the signal. What was that just now? No, it's nothing. Sharon and Selena, who can use detection magic, will command the detour squads. Understood. Those not in the carriage squad or the detour squads will wait on the road behind us and rush to the scene at full speed. That's the plan. Any questions? Alan looked around, but there seemed to be no questions. It was a simple plan, so perhaps there was nothing to question. While Dalsum and Voltaire proceeded with the selection of personnel, preparations were made to move the luggage and break camp. They were testing how many people could actually fit in the unloaded carriage. Sir Alan, the squad selection is complete. The selected men were lined up in their squads. Everyone was fired up. Alan seemed to be inspecting the chosen squads, sizing them up. Good. Let's move out. In the end, 12 men would ride in the carriage in addition to the 3 of us from Shining Star. Finally, it was time to depart. 4 hours had passed since we left the campsite. The bandit subjugation had turned into a much larger operation than expected. Of course, if it were just a matter of capturing the bandits, the 5 of us from Shining Star would have been enough. But I decided to have everyone fight alongside us. These people in the clan will likely become the core of the nation building to come. It's necessary for them to gain as much experience as possible, learn to coordinate with us, and grow. No, it's the other way around. We need to learn from them and grow. That said, I can't have them risk their lives for it. I will protect them, no matter what.
It should be about time. I stopped the carriage and got down from the driver's seat. The rear guard naturally stopped as well. Detour squads, form up and depart immediately. Understood. It seemed Selena and Sharon had hitched a ride on the carriages carrying the detour squads and had been communicating with them. The squads formed up immediately and entered the mountains on either side of the road. Of course, I had already checked the state of the mountains beforehand with the drone footage. They should be able to get into position without much difficulty. About an hour later, I received word from Sharon and Selena that they were in position. All right, it should be about time. Let's go. We moved the carriage forward until we were 500 meters away. I displayed the footage from the drone, filming from above on a virtual window. It seemed there were 14 bandits on the left side of the road and 14 on the right. I could see some of them chatting. They hadn't noticed us yet, of course. Selena and Sharon were hidden about 70 meters behind the bandits. They probably intended to sneak up on them just before the attack. When we were 400 meters away, it seemed the bandit lookout in the tree spotted us. They were preparing in a hurry. We closed to 50 meters. Selena and Sharon were now within 30 meters of the bandit's rear. 50 more. 1 man with a bow in the tree on the upper right. 30 ahead of him, 5 archers on the left and right. Naturally, Elna gave no sign that she had heard anything. They would probably target us with bows first. I'll finish them before they can even shoot. We passed under the lookout, and the bandits began to knock their arrows, but they hadn't started to draw yet. The archers on Elna's right side hadn't even raised their bows. They probably noticed Elna was a woman and intended to capture her. I fired the signal into the sky. With the bang of the signal, I unleashed a continuous stream of light arrows at the 5 archers on the left and right that I had locked onto. Next was the lookout in the tree. I shot down the arrow the lookout fired even as he was hit by a light arrow. With the signal, the members of the carriage squad burst out of the carriage with a war cry and charged toward the bandits. I stood on the driver's seat, rifle at the ready, but I could hear shouts coming one after another from where the bandits had been hiding. It must be Selena and Sharon's detour squads. Elna sent the bandits who came out onto the road to fight the carriage squad, flying one after another with her air bullets. For a while, shouts and roars filled the air, but that too subsided, and it seemed things were mostly settled. The bandits were kicked out onto the road one by one. "Is anyone injured?" I called out, but it seemed there were no injuries. "Sir Alan, it was over in an instant. We didn't even have a chance to do anything," Captain Dalsum said disappointedly, but he also seemed relieved that no one was hurt. "Alan, me too. I was late getting out of the carriage and didn't defeat a single one." Claria was similarly dissatisfied. "All right, disarm the bandits and gather them in one place.
Oh, and don't forget to collect their weapons, belongings, and valuables. Sharon and Selena had come out onto the road as well, and when I asked about the situation, they said there were no problems. The detour squad seemed to have a chance to shine, and I could feel their excitement. Lady Sharon's command was superb. She approached the bandits at the perfect moment and was right next to them just before the signal sounded. Not at all. Lady Selena's was surely more impressive. We were so close we could have reached out and touched them. It seemed both of them had managed to lead everyone well. The bandits must have been so focused on the carriage that they paid no attention to their rear. By that time, the detached force that had been waiting on the road had also arrived. The bandits were stunned by the number of people surrounding them. Perhaps because I had told everyone not to kill the bandits if possible, none of them seemed to have injuries that would prevent them from walking. The detached force used restraints to bind the bandits one after another. Captain Dalsum, let's go to the bandits' hideout. It's about 4 kilometers east of here. We can leave about 20 men here to guard the bandits. There's no need for a large group to go, but there might be something we can carry out. Understood. Captain Dalsum shouted a series of orders, deciding who to take and who to leave behind. It seemed he was leaving one of the detour squads that had performed well. We entered the mountains and headed for the hideout. In about an hour, we were near the cave that served as the bandits' hideout. According to the drone's multi-sensor observation, all the people inside the cave were men, walking around freely, and there was no possibility of any non-bandits being held captured. Let's finish this quickly. That's the bandits' hideout. There are 2 lookouts standing guard.
It certainly looks that way. What should we do? There are only 7 of them. Let's just approach as we are. When the lookouts noticed us, they ran inside. The cave was a dead end. The bandits had nowhere left to run. We approached casually and entered the cave as a group. Of course, I knew the bandits' locations from the multi-sensor. They were gathered in the deepest part of the cave. At the corner leading to the very back, I raised my hand to stop and called out to the bandits. "Hey, there are 80 of us out here. Surrender quietly." "Shut up. Take 1 step closer and we'll turn you into a pincushion with our arrows." What a waste of time. Mimicking Elna from before, I unleashed an air bullet large enough to cover the entire cave toward the back. This was nice and easy since I didn't have to aim. A cry of "Gah!" and a cloud of dust billowed up. I hadn't thought about the dust. Eventually, the dust settled, and when we proceeded to the back, the bandits were either unconscious or in a daze. Seeing this, our men rushed them one after another, and the bandits were restrained. Don't forget to collect the valuables. In the deepest part of the cave, various wooden boxes were stacked up. Now I wonder what's inside. Captain Dalsum, check the contents and select what to carry. Understood. Everyone began to open the wooden boxes one by one. "Captain, we found a locked box." When I went with Captain Dalsum to see, it was indeed a large, locked box. I drew my electromagnetic blade knife and cut through the metal fittings one by one. Amazing! The contents were, as expected, Ginny. No, besides Ginny, there were also a small number of jewels, necklaces, and bracelets. There were a lot of gold coins, too. This was a jackpot. This is the true pleasure of bandit hunting. This is an incredible haul. Yeah, it was worth coming all this way. Let's split up and carry the selected items. Understood. Captain Dalsum checked the contents of each box one by one and gave instructions. It was a help since there were some things whose value I couldn't quite judge. In the end, less than 10% of the items were left behind. It took another hour for the 80 of us to carry everything and return to the road. But everyone's faces were bright and their steps were light. Having a good haul really makes a difference. Preparations were completed to load the recovered items onto the carriage, chain up the bandits, and depart once more. All right, let's head back to yesterday's campsite. Yeah! We drove the carriage hard and covered a considerable distance. We should be safe this far away. D1, destroy the cave the bandits were using so it can never be used again. Understood. Alan, just now, didn't you hear something? No, not really. I didn't hear anything. It seems Elna has very good hearing. I'll have to remember that.